right now I'm a developer advocate at Stacklet. And in the next couple minutes, I'm going to take you on a tour of governance as code and C7n, which is also known as cloud custodian. All right. So, with the advent of the ease and efficiency that cloud providers offer us, cloud providers such as AWS and Azure, organizations find themselves struggling to balance developer productivity and risk. In other words, how many of you are guilty of maybe or maybe not spinning up an S3 bucket that may or may not have been in compliance with your organization's encryption policies? Guilty? Yeah. Guilty as charged. So the problem, the question becomes, how do we meet the needs of developers and the needs of a well-managed cloud without hindering productivity, right? This is a problem that governance as code can address. So let's talk about what governance as code is, right? So as we heard earlier, there is infrastructure as code. Terraform is kind of the industry standard of that. Essentially, what Terraform does is it applies the principles of programming to the management of infrastructure such as networks, machines, and, you guessed it, the cloud. The application of these principles to infrastructure allows you to iterate on it, version it, and seamlessly integrate it into your development pipelines, right? Similarly, Cloud Custodian is governance as code. So what is C7n, right? C7n, which is shorthand for Cloud Custodian, basically distills the complexities of cloud policy authorship into a cloud domain-specific language. In other words, it uses a declarative language in a single configuration file so you can iterate on, version, and like I said, integrate that seamlessly into your development pipelines, right? Pretty cool. So let's go ahead and quickly dissect the anatomy of a very basic policy file, okay? So first of all, in Cloud Custodian, this is in YAML, or this is a YAML configuration file. You've got the name of your policy, the resource that you want this policy, applies to, and in Cloud, forgot to mention, sorry. Cloud Custodian is an open source project that is written in Python. So that means you can both use it and contribute to it. Okay, so back to the policy file. If you look at it, right, we've got the name of the policy. We've got the resource that we want this policy to act on. We have then the mode of this policy, right? So that determines whether we want this policy triggered manually or by a specific cloud event. We have the filters, and so the filter is what will extract the group of resources that we want to take action on. And then action is the various things that we can do to the output of that filter. So I'm going to give you a little tiny demo of a very simple Cloud Custodian policy. In this demo policy, it is our S3 encrypted notify. So basically, for those unencrypted buckets that may or may not have created, what I want to do is filter for those buckets. And if there are any unencrypted buckets, because I worked at Twilio previously, I then want to get a phone call. And that's going to be the notification. So you can see here is how it would work. You're filtering out the buckets that are not encrypted, and if any of those show up, right, with that output, we then want to get a phone call. So cool, I'm going to go ahead and switch real quick to my very tiny demo. So here, it's a very simple demo. It's kind of like a little bit Martha Stewart, where I'm like, oh, I just am taking this already baked pizza out of the oven and kind of cheating with the webhook that's running locally. But anyway, so here's my Cloud Custodian policy. It is, in Biggin. How's that? One more? Yeah. Oh, cool. So now that everyone can see that, so this is our little policy. We want to operate on those pesky S3 buckets. We want to list all the instances that are not encrypted. And where I had notified before, we're going to have a webhook because this is what I'm using to run my Twilio app, basically. So I'm going to make sure my phone is on. And fingers crossed that Twilio isn't down. If it is, it's not my fault anymore because I don't work there. So in here, we're going to go ahead and run my policy. So yeah, Cloud Custodian is also a command line tool. So I'm going to go ahead and run it. I'm going to cross my fingers. Sorry, this is always the part. Come on, come on, come on. We're running out of time. It was working before. Come on, come on. Oh my God, I know. We got 200s back, so it should be okay. There we go. Oh, I got a 500. Let me check. Let me see if I can fix it. So at Twilio, they made everyone make like a Twilio app. And if it didn't, you had to then present it. And if it didn't work, they would chant at you, fix it, and it was really scary. So let's see if I can fix it. Maybe I just have no unencrypted buckets because I'm so well behaved. All right, let me try one more thing. I know we're running out of time. Okay, so I know that that's working. Let's try one more time. I got a 200 there. Let's run my policy. There it is. I'm going to answer it. Let's see if you can all hear this.
There is a hole in your bucket.
Okay, there you go, everyone. So that's just an example of that's kind of a not so good demo, or it is a good demo. I don't know. You tell me. Anyway, so if you want to learn more about using and contributing to c7n, go to cloudcustodian.io. And you can reach me at liz@stacklet.io. And thank you so much for your time, y'all, and your patience. Have a good rest of your day.